Welcome everybody to the Bob Pizzini Show, coming to you from the beautiful, sunny West Palm Beach, Florida area. I am at the Podfinity Nation Studios, a new podcast host, and some great friends of mine that put this organization together. And I'm lucky enough to have the Bob Pizzini Show hosted by Podfinity Nation. One of the developers, one of the people who had the idea of not only Podfinity Nation, but a broader concept called Warriors Haven USA, is an incredible patriot, to say the least, somebody who served, somebody who had great success in the business sector, and somebody who is very focused on giving back, especially within the veteran community, but not only within the veteran community. So my guest today, Peter Gary. Peter, welcome to the Bob Pizzini Show.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it.
In your studio.
I've come bearing gifts. I do this right.
Yeah, well done, sir.
Thank you.
Well done. Thank you so much. So I've got my Warriors Haven USA coin. I love it. I'm going to briefly read Peter's bio, just so we know a little bit about who he is and what he's done. Then we're going to jump into a great discussion.
Thank you.
So Peter Gary served in the Elite Force Reconnaissance Unit of the United States Marine Corps for 8 years. After he left the service, he began a decade-long career in the automotive industry, where we discovered last night at dinner we have a mutual friend, Rich Appleby, somebody who we both have great respect for, to say the least.
At Wilson Chevrolet.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. Where he went on to serve as general manager for several of the country's leading dealerships. During the late 90s, Peter embraced the emerging technology market, smart guy, and shifted out of sales and into the rapidly evolving tech space. He moved to South Florida and helped launch several highly successful businesses. Peter is a devoted philanthropist, working extensively with the Boys and Girls Clubs of South Florida while serving as a member of its board of directors. Thank you for doing that. He has also worked diligently to support Hope on Wheels, an organization that supports the fight against pediatric cancer, FATE, the Foundation for Autism Training and Education. We got to talk about that because we have autistic kids at iFly, and most of them have like...
I got some great DVDs for you to take up to the kids.
Okay.
Make sure before you leave here today, I'll give you some.
Okay. Most of these kids just have a great experience. You know, kids who are on the spectrum, and they come in and fly, and it's just a game changer for them. Let's see. He worked on the Foundation for Autism Training and Education, the Wounded Warrior Project for support programs and services for wounded veterans, and is a proud supporter of the George Snow Scholarship Fund. So, obviously you're philanthropic. Obviously we're going to talk about Warriors Haven USA and this incredible vision that you have, and that our mutual friend Marty is helping you put together and assemble. And I just think it's worthy and it's noble, and it takes somebody like you to be able to do that. But let's go back to your upbringing in New York, right? Because who we are as adults largely happened throughout our childhood. Where'd you grow up?
Rochester, New York.
Okay, what was your upbringing like? I know you have deep Italian roots. What was your upbringing like?
Family of 7. I'm the middle child of 7 kids.
Okay.
I have 2 older brothers, an older sister, and 3 younger sisters.
Wow. Okay. So a full house.
Yeah. My parents definitely did not believe in going out at night.
Yeah. Okay.
They made their own entertainment.
Yeah, for sure. So a full house, to say the least. And then Rochester, New York. I mean, like where I grew up in Kenosha, Wisconsin, just north of Chicago. Like my
I actually grew up in Penfield.
Okay.
Penfield, which is a beautiful town. I was born in actually Rochester itself.
Okay. Yeah.
On Cranberry Street.
Okay.
And then when my father moved this, when we started growing, my father moved this into on Embry Street in Penfield, which ironically, on one side of the street, we went to Penfield. On the other side of the street, you went to Webster High School.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, the district line.
Yeah, the district line.
Exactly. Was it a big Italian community where you grew up, or was it kind of a mix mash?
In Rochester, it was, but in Penfield, it really wasn't. It was
okay.
It was mixed. It was Jewish. It was a little bit of Italian, and it was kind of
was it Polish?
Yeah, it was waspy.
Yeah, okay.
We were kind of a little bit out there.
Yeah,
being Italian.
Yeah, okay, all right.
My next door neighbor, I could tell you some funny stories about my next door neighbor calling my brother a dago and getting knocked out.
Yeah, right, yeah.
By my brother, not by me.
Okay. Did you like towards high school? Did you play sports at all as a kid?
I played. I was all New York State in football, wrestling.
Wow.
And I did a little bit of swimming, but mostly wrestling.
Okay.
And football.
Okay. So really athletic.
Yeah.
What did you have a job during high school?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
My father didn't. My father was a general contractor. That's why we do all the building around here, and why I have a passion for vocation.
Yeah.
And I started at a very young age. My father did not believe in letting us do anything.
Sit around all. Yeah.
Work. And if we weren't doing something, we were working with him.
Yeah. Okay.
So
construction, building stuff.
Always.
Wow.
Oh, I mean, I was wiring outlets when I was probably 11 years old.
Wow.
And if we weren't doing that, we were doing something else. We were doing something around the house, or we were with him on the truck. The only one that didn't get away with that was my brother Steve. My brother Steve was an accountant. He had two left thumbs.
Yeah.
But my brother Rick and I were constantly out there doing something with my brother.
Wow.
Everything from roofing. In the winter months, we were dragging up boilers.
Wow.
And in the summer months, we were carrying up roofing tiles.
Holy cow.
And back when they used to have asbestos boilers,
yeah,
we were breaking them apart and bringing them up.
Yeah.
We used to have contests on who could change over a water heater quicker.
Wow. Holy cow.
And I mean, and we were framing walls. We were doing anything from plaster work to anything you could think of. My father had to do us.
Wow. And so you learned all those skills.
And then when I was in high school, they had a program called BOCES, where you would go to school, the regular high school, from 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning till like 11:30, and then they'd bus you over to a vocational school in the afternoon, and you'd finish the afternoon in the vocational school.
Mm-hmm.
And for parents that had a kid that was in the trades,
mm-hmm,
that's where you would go.
Yeah.
And my father always thought that I would, be in the trades.
Yeah.
Him.
Yeah.
And that's why they did that.
It's funny because same thing. You and I are probably the exact same age. But when I same thing when I went to high school, we had a heavy vocational component. There was auto shop, there was wood shop, there was a machine shop or something like that. And nowadays, or I should say, of 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, a lot of that got phased out. At least in
crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. But they're recognizing, they're bringing it back. At least,
God.
Yeah.
When you think about it today, everybody kind of thought, well, let's get rid of the trades. Let's get rid of all these things. Everybody wants to
get
be
your
white
college degree.
Right?
That's right.
Listen, I know plumbers and electricians that are making $200,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right? I know
Yep.
people that have gone for 5, 6, 8-year degrees that are professional going to college, right? They're still living in their parents' houses, right? Versus going out there making a couple $100,000 a year, being a tradesman.
That's right.
Right? We work with Moss Construction, right? Here with Warriors Haven USA. I can't tell you how proud I am to be working with an organization like Moss Construction that goes out there, looks at the veteran community, and strives to bring in veterans throughout the country. Why? They know that they're going to have integrity, honor, and commitment. Right? They know that they walk out there and they get these guys and they want to have a vocation and want to come in. They know that they're going to come in and want to learn.
For sure.
They know that they're going to have discipline.
Yeah.
They're going to listen. They already know that they're going to have a safety structure. So they're not going to have to teach them how to be safe.
Yeah, right.
They know they've gone through training so that they're going to have the aptitude to learn. Right?
Exactly. That's right.
And they're going to go
right.
out there and do what they're told.
Yeah.
So they go out there and they work with it. And they even know that sometimes, you know what, they've gotten out. They've been out for a couple of years. They may have gone through a couple of things here and there. They're willing to give them a second chance.
Yeah, right.
They're such a great organization, which is why we partnered with them. And it's a beautiful thing.
That's great.
And they have jobs all over the country.
Oh, I was going to say, so is Moss Construction based here?
Yeah, they are, but they have jobs from here to Hawaii.
Wow.
From here to Alaska. They have jobs all over the country.
Wow, holy cow. So your dad kept you busy teaching you skills that honestly every young man should learn, in my opinion.
Best thing my father ever did to me.
Yeah.
Not only that, I mean, I can tell you a funny story. I'll tell you a funny story about boot camp with my dad.
Okay.
But my dad taught me everything from swinging a hammer to HVAC. Right? And everything in between that.
That's incredible.
And there's nothing that I can't do. Unfortunately, I let my wife know that. Right? And I was good all the way up until the point when my business got sold, and now I had free time.
Yeah.
Right?
And she's got the list.
There's no getting it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I no longer have free time to go play golf or anything else.
Yeah. Well, we got to do something about that. So let's. So with that kind of upbringing and that focus on trades and construction and that level of skill, how was it you found the Marine Corps?
So, two things. First off, have you ever watched the movie The Sands of Iwo Jima?
Oh yeah.
Okay. The moment I watched that movie, I was done. You could stick a fork in me.
Yeah. Okay.
Secondly, my uncle was on Iwo Jima.
Wow.
And if you look over that wall, you'll see a picture of the Iwo Jima with sand from the island and a round expended upon that island.
Wow, that's cool.
5,462 men died on that island. Okay?
Wow.
We talk about 9/11. Tragic, tragic, tragic day. So many men and women died of that day.
Yeah.
Non-volunteered. Okay? They didn't volunteer to die on that day.
Yeah.
They didn't know that they were going to die on that day.
Yeah.
They had their lives ripped from them. Their families had their lives ripped from them on that day. And it was tragic from cowards. Those cowards took our American lives from us that day. Okay? Those men on that island volunteered. They went into the fire.
Yeah,
like the firemen.
Frame of reference. You're talking about 9/11. 9/11. Yeah.
I'm just making a comparison.
Yeah, for sure.
In between the difference, so that our viewers can understand the difference of veterans versus civilians, right? And firefighters. And I'm talking about first responders too. Right?
For sure.
Because it's an important thing to know.
Police, fire, EMS.
That our firefighters and our policemen are the same way. I think I can't go into a restaurant, a convenience store. I don't care where I'm at. If I see a firefighter or a police officer, I thank them for what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. They give their service to us the same way that a veteran does. Every single day.
Yeah.
They serve us the way that we serve them.
Yeah, I love it.
Right?
Absolutely love it. So your uncle was kind of your inspiration, or you saw the sands of Iwo Jima, and
I didn't even know my uncle was in the Marine Corps because World War II veterans are a little different than us.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And I told you, what did I tell you yesterday? I really don't like talking about it.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't. Marty doesn't even know and didn't know until a long time ago a lot of the things that I do. I just don't send it out there. There's certain veterans that don't talk about their past.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And there's nothing wrong either way.
Yeah, that's right. No,
right?
It's all good. Just, I always love, because so many of my guests are military folks.
Right.
And I always like to know what attracted you to the military.
What attracted me to that, and honestly, in life there's the ultimate givers and the ultimate takers. Right? You'll find that most veterans are the ultimate givers.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
They're there for service before self. And I truly believe that.
Yeah. So do I.
And especially with you, right? EOD, you can't be a more ultimate giver and wanting to go out there and diffuse a device that you're going into hell to protect others. Yeah. I have so much respect for you.
Yeah, thank you.
To go out there and want to do that. That takes balls the size of freaking New York
and
Texas.
When EOD was first established back in 1940 by Draper Kaufman, there was 3 requirements. Unmarried, physically fit, and fully prepared for the afterlife.
Gotta be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible that you're willing to do that every single day.
Yeah.
And when you take those risks, you're doing that. And back to the story about Iwo Jima, I use this analogy all the time, and I try to explain it to people. It was awful, 9/11. But look back at Iwo Jima. Those 5,000 men knew they were going there and openly and honestly willing to die for their country.
Yeah, and knowing that they had low odds of coming out of there alive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I just had a recent experience. I was honored to be able to go to the Medal of Honor opening to the museum. And it was such an incredible honor to go there and meet some of the Medal of Honor winners, recipients. Right. I walked into the Marriott there, and On the way in, when I met the gentleman I was going to have breakfast with, I said, "Thank you so much for your service." And his response shook me into my emotional core, brought tears to my eyes. His response was, "You were worth it."
Love it. Yeah.
That is such a humbling response for a man
Yeah.
that was a recipient of the Medal of Honor. It brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very thoughtful for sure. So that's incredible. So you and I just think, I know you don't like to shine the light on yourself, but I know that during your time in service, you saw some pretty serious stuff, and you paid a price. You made a sacrifice physically for this country. So thank you. And I know that even today, you still have some effects from that. So thank you for what you've done and your bravery and your service. And then at some point you said, "I'm gonna take my life in another direction." And that direction turned out to be wildly successful, but let's just go back. You got out of the Corps, and what was next?
Well, that's a funny story too, right? So here I am. I come down to South Florida, thinking I was going to actually go to work for the DEA in law enforcement, because it was right in the height of the cocaine cowboys.
Okay.
Right?
Miami Vice.
Yeah, pretty much. It wasn't really like that, but
Scarface.
Back then they needed, kind of shooters, guys and operators that were gonna bang down the doors, get all the guys out of there, clear the houses, and let the agents go in and make the arrests. They didn't want them. They felt that they were a little more suited to make the arrests, and we were still expendable. Make kind of,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're used to that
Yeah.
mentality, right? We're expendable, they're not. So, and
we're also good at the firefight. We're also better at the firefight.
I think it's more that they thought that we were expendable.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm used to that, right? So, and I believe that in my heart now more than anything. It's hard to put that ego aside and say that that's kind of the value of some of us. But I really believe that in their heart, that's what they felt.
Okay.
Right? They can get as many grunts as they possibly think, and just throw us up there, and they'll pay us 30-40 grand a year, and then go ahead and make the arrest afterwards. But so I'm down here waiting. It's about a 6-month wait line to go through the process.
Okay.
And as I'm doing it, I'm kind of just living off the little bit of money that I have and waiting to go into the academy. And as I'm doing it, funny thing is that I'm in this place called Tugboat Annie's, which is on Palmetto Park Road, and Powerline Road, and 18th.
Okay.
And
here in West Palm Beach?
No, it was actually in Boca Raton.
Okay.
And a fight breaks out in the middle of the dance floor, and I'm with a girl dancing. And remember the old parachute pants?
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes, I do.
I'm in my mid-20s.
Yeah.
Right? I went in at 17. I got out 8 years later.
25.
Yeah, 25 years old. And these two freaking, gorillas that thought they were all that in a bag of chips, keep on bumping into this girl and bumping into me. Now, I'm not that big, right? And these guys are muscle-bound idiots.
Yeah.
And they kept on going at it and going at it and going at it. And I said, "Guys, bump into me one more time, or we're going to have a problem." And they're looking at me thinking, "Well, what,
Yeah.
I do it intentionally this time." I grab them both by their gonads. Literally just grab them, lift them up, and I start walking them to the door. I tell my date, "I'll be right back." I walk them out just like this. I say, "Listen, if you fight me, I'm just going to rip them out." And I walk them out on their tippy toes and just throw them to the ground. I said, "Unless you're growing, you better just stay on the ground, because I'm going to leave. You're going to leave in an ambulance." I walk back in, and the owner of the bar is sitting there. I'm going, "Would you like a job?"
Wow.
And I go, "What?" I says, "I've never seen anything like that. That was the most incredible thing I've ever seen." And I said, "What are you talking about? I'm here just enjoying myself. I didn't want to get bumped into." "Yeah, but that was incredible." And I ended up working there for a little bit of money and all the beers I could drink.
Okay. Working security, I take it.
And I ended up hiring some people to work the door, women to work the door, because you'll find out that women, if you pay them right and they work the door, they won't let girls in for free, and they'll check the IDs and they'll let younger girls in.
Yeah.
They're just more deal. And then I started there, and then I went over to, I used to go over from there over the Mallet late at night, because they closed at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Ooh, man.
Right? I don't sleep. So I went over to the Mallet, and I started working over there, and something similar happened over there, only a little more dangerous. One of the wives of one of the owners, somebody pulled a gun on her. And I stopped that from happening. And so I got a job over there. And long story to that we won't get into today, but so I started working over there. And so I had 2 jobs now, ring bouncers. And then another owner of another bar in town called me and said, listen, I know you're handling security for this place and this place. Would you consider handling security for this place? I said, listen, I'm too thin. I can't do it at all places. So I ended up hiring some people. And I ended up starting my own bouncing company.
Okay.
So that was my first company.
AKA security business?
Started my first security company at a young age. And then about a year later, I ended up selling that because I had already started selling cars.
Okay.
And a guy came by the name of Rich Bender came to me and said, you're wasting your time being a bouncer. And I couldn't tell him what I was going to be doing for the DEA at the time. And I couldn't really tell him my daytime job what I was doing. So I said, listen, Rich, I don't know anything about selling cars. And I had this kind of vision of me being in these plaid pants and shiny white shoes. I said, I'm not a used car salesman, pal. I can't do this for a living. And he's like, Pete, it's not like that. Those are like movies. We actually are professionals. Just do me a favor. Come in and see. And this guy was a great guy. I mean, the guy was just, he wasn't, I knew this guy. He was in the night, he was in the bar every night. He didn't stay till 4 a.m. He was a real professional. I said, I'll stop by tomorrow. I don't sleep anyway. I could use the money. And so I stopped by the dealership the next day. And he was Wallace Nissan Dodge on Linton Boulevard. AutoNation now owns it.
Okay.
And I walked in, met him. He introduced me to another gentleman by the name of Chris Woods. And he interviews me. And then I walked over, another gentleman by the name of Larry Wade interviewed me. And at that time, they weren't hiring people that didn't have at least like 2 or 3 years worth of experience. And I had none. He says, listen, I'm just telling, he told these guys, listen, I just got a feeling about this guy. Just hire him. So the next day I come into work, do the paperwork, and I do everything the way that they tell me to do it. I mean, if they told me to wash the cars, I would have washed the cars. So I don't listen to anything. They told me to go upstairs and watch videos by a guy by the name of Jackie Cooper. And he's an old-time trainer. And remember the old laser discs that were like an album?
Yeah. Right? They were only here for a minute.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So I walk upstairs and watch them all up there and listen to them. And then they had the product discs were the same way. For Dodge, they were the same way. So I go up there and watch those. So then I come down and they say, okay, we want you to shadow a salesman. You're not going to make any commission on it. You're just going to shadow. This happened for like 3 or 4 days. Then the weekend came and I was going to take my first up, which is a customer.
Okay.
So
what'd you call it? Your first what?
Up. It's a client.
Okay.
That walked down the showroom floor.
Okay. So where does that term up come from?
I don't know the provenance of how it came that way. It was just called an up.
Okay. All right.
So that's a great question. Yeah. So they come in. I'm all excited, and they have a certain process. Customer comes in. You're supposed to bring him into the showroom floor, find out exactly what they're looking for, write up all the information. Then you take them out to the car. You do a walk around in the car. Then you take them for a drive. Then you do everything else. The customer doesn't want to do that. They have their own process.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to do it this way. I do it exactly the way that I was told to do it. Not the way the customer wanted to do it. I did the way that I was told to do it.
Okay.
The manager is looking at me like I got 3 heads. The salesmen are looking at me like I got 3 heads. But I'm doing it exactly the way that Jackie Cooper said to do it, in exactly the way that the manager told me to do it.
Okay.
Even though that everybody's looking at me like I got 3 heads.
Yeah, yeah.
So I did it that way. I sold the car. So another customer comes in like 4 hours later. I sold that car. First day on the floor, full floor. I sold 2 cars that Saturday. Now, they also had bonuses. So if you sold a car, you got a cash bonus, which they never told me about, on top of your normal commission. I'm on cloud 9. Remember, back in 1988 when I got out, with full pay, hazardous duty, and jump pay, I wasn't making more than 20 grand.
Yeah, right.
Okay? Maybe 23. I can't remember what it was. But it wasn't a whole hell of a lot.
That's right.
Okay? So I'm sitting here doing all of this, and I'm doing the calculation in my head, and he just handed me $250 in cash. I think I died and went to heaven.
Wow.
Right? So the next day is Sunday. I sold another 2 cars. Now that it's Sunday and it escalates, now he not only handed me the $250, he handed me an extra $100.
Wow.
Because I sold 4 cars in the weekend.
Wow.
And he said, if you sell 1 more car today, you actually make another $500. Brother, I stayed till 9 o'clock and got the car out.
And you did it.
I did it.
Way to go.
So, end of story, I made it to the end of the month. I had actually sold that month a ton of cars, right? I mean, I got out, I can't remember if it was like 26 or 28. It was a bunch of cars.
Yeah.
The average car salesman back then was selling 8 to 9 cars a month. Right? And my car credit. 2 months later, they called me to now go into the academy and start the process to be what I was supposed to do.
Okay. That's the government.
Yeah, it's government.
Yeah.
I changed my mind.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you mean change your mind? I said, I decided I have a new career.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you signed. I said, am I obligated?
And
he started to say, well, I said, stop. Did I sign anything that honestly obligates me like I did in the Marine Corps? Be very careful when you answer this question. Am I obligated to a term? Well, no. Then I'm out.
Yeah, wow.
I just made $33,000 last month. You are telling me I'm only going to make $34,000 for a whole year.
Yeah, exactly.
I made that last month.
Yeah, holy cow. Wow, wow.
And that started my career.
So that started your career in the automotive industry, and that happened here in South Florida. Then how did you wind up back in the Hampton Roads Metro, Norfolk,
That was
Virginia
a long
Beach?
way around because I actually got recruited out to Virginia. I actually got recruited out to Arizona.
Okay.
A gentleman by the name of Larry Van Tile, who is a guru in the automotive industry. He actually is probably, you know, they say you might be one of the smartest guys in the room. He's probably one of the smartest guys in the room.
Okay, all right.
So him and his father, Cecil started the business, and then Larry took it to the next degree, right? They moved from St. Louis, where they had dealerships, and then opened them out in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
And they had the #1 Nissan store in the country called ABC Nissan. And since I was the year that I was the #1 Nissan salesman in the country, they brought me out. This is a funny story too.
So they just found you through the Nissan network?
Well, because I had reached that accomplishment. Technically I had, but there's a story behind I didn't. Because, well, I was enjoying the fact that I had hit it. Somebody came around and beat me because I took a day off. They told me I hit it and I took a day off, and then somebody punched a couple cars and beat me out of it.
Okay.
So, long story, but I got a phone call from a gentleman called Larry Van Tile, and he wanted to have me come out, and I thought it was a prank. So I get the phone call, and he says, listen, I'd like to invite you out to Phoenix, Arizona to come meet with me. And I said, Mr. Van Tile, I'm very happy where I'm at. They treat me very well here. And he says, well, I understand, but that's a pay plan. I'd like to put you on the dealer development program. Now, I didn't know it at the time, but if you don't own 51% of something, you're still an employee.
That's right. That's right.
Okay? At least 50-50 you got a shot. But at 49%, still an employee.
Yep.
Okay? So we go, it's not really true, and I'm making a joke out of it because you're still, no matter what percentage, you're still an owner. Right.
Yeah, right.
And I'm making light of it.
Yeah. There's the decision-making component of it.
The operating agreement controls everything.
Yeah, exactly right. That's exactly right.
So I don't mean it for anybody that's out there. I don't want to get hate mail. You're still an owner.
Yeah.
When you look at things, it's Larry really was serious about this, and I said, Mr. Mantel, I guess, yeah. And I even talked to Mr. Wallace about it. And Mr. Wallace is like, look, they're offering you a good deal. I don't want to...
Okay, he don't want to hold you up?
And listen, I've worked for a lot of good bosses in my life, and he was one of them. A good boss is never, ever, ever going to hold you back.
That's a fact. Couldn't agree with that more.
He's going to support you.
Should be your biggest cheerleader.
And he's going to tell you, that's a good opportunity. You should hear him out. Mm-hmm. Somebody that's only worried about themselves is going to sit there and tell you, nope, they're screwing you, they're doing this, they're doing that, and they're going to sit there and try to give you every reason why they're screwing you. A good boss is going to give you advice and say, this is what you should look out for.
Yeah.
This is what you should do it. Because if they're really on your side and they're telling you what's right, then they're going to guide you through the process.
Yeah, exactly.
And try to help you. A bad boss is going to give you all the wrong reasons, right? I've helped many of my people start their own businesses because my job is not only as a human, but as a good boss, is to help people get what they want.
For sure. That's, part of my definition of the word leadership is to enable others to accomplish their objectives.
Amen. Right?
So,
that's why we are where we are and what God put us on this earth for.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I hate when people are sitting there trying to put the thumb on people and keep them down for their own benefit.
Yeah, and then
you get more out of life doing it the other way.
That's right. And then if you're that kind of person within the organization, there's going to be poor culture, and there's going to be tension, and there's going to be all these distractions that keep people from doing their job. And so you made the move to Arizona then?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's part of the funny story, right? So Larry tells me, well, I would need you to go to the Boca Raton airport. And I already lived here now then for a couple of years. He said, Mr. Van Tile, I can go to West Palm, I can go to Fort Lauderdale. There is no airport in Boca Raton. He goes, son, there's an airport in Boca Raton. And I said, Mr. Van Tile, I don't want to be argumentative.
Yeah.
There's no airport in Boca Raton. And he goes, son, it's on Airport Road. Go down to Glades, make a right on Executive Boulevard. There's an airport in Boca Raton. And I said, oh, okay, sir. And sure enough, he had I can't remember if it was a G2 or a G3, but I flew out private. I was done.
Wow.
When I got on the airplane, I was done.
Wow. He flew you down there in his airplane?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was done when I got on the airplane.
Okay.
Let alone getting off the airplane.
Yeah.
Larry knows how to do it right.
Yeah. Wow. That's incredible. That's man, oh man, talk about a boss who's taking care of you.
Yeah.
So Phoenix, you moved to Phoenix.
Went to Phoenix, worked for Larry for 5 years.
Okay.
And it was a great career. I learned how to sell cars at Wallace. And finance. I learned volume from Larry Van Tile. And I learned how to take care of customers at Hall. When Ken Hall got me with a little stint with Rich and Walter. Then when I went to work for Ken Hall.
Okay, this is back in Norfolk, Virginia Beach. Yeah.
When I went back to work for them, which I love being in Norfolk and being back with the military. It was just such a blessing.
Yeah, and where you were stationed for most of your...
Well, I was actually stationed, I was attached to 2nd Anglo and down in Camp Lejeune. But, and my last duty station was in Little Creek. Well, actually Fort Story, but it's, the command is Little Creek.
Yeah, right.
And then you're attached to Fort Story. But 2nd Anglo and Camp Lejeune is where second forces.
Okay.
So, but it was that I was barely there.
Okay.
Even though I spent time there and then wound up having an issue with the water, but that's a whole nother story.
But now you're back, and you're back as a. What was your capacity in the automotive industry when you were back?
I came in there originally to be part of the store, one of the stores.
Okay.
As a GSM at one of the stores.
Okay.
And then just got promoted different levels, and stayed there for 5 years. And I was running stores and being a fix-it guy. They were going through a high growth period, and one of the reasons why they wanted me there was that they were going from negotiating to one price.
Okay.
Right? And
That's what CarMax does now.
well, they were always one price. And the problem is that everybody that was there was homegrown, and they didn't have anybody that was well experienced in negotiating.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody there was used to the way that Mr. Hall was doing it, which is one priced, and I came from a negotiation high pressure store from Van Tile. So they needed somebody that they could trust, that from, if you told me at 12 o'clock today we're no longer negotiating after they bought it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They knew that at 12:01 we were done.
Okay.
There was no longer negotiations at this store, right? They took it so seriously that you were fired if you negotiated.
Oh, wow.
If you so much as gave them a free pinstripe and you sold 30 cars a month, you were fired.
Wow.
Integrity meant everything.
Yeah, right.
To Mr. Hall.
Right.
I loved that man.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell you that I would have taken a bullet for that man, I mean that with every fiber of my being.
Wow.
That man had more integrity in his finger than the majority of civilians in this world.
Wow. Wow. So how long were you with Hall then? This
5
is
years.
Hall Auto Group, 5 years.
Yeah.
And what led you to the next thing? Why did you leave Hall?
I got hit by a drunk driver and lost my dad, all in the matter of 6 months.
Were you in a vehicle when you got hit?
Yeah, Honda Accord.
Wow. Wow. Were you seriously injured?
They had a fuse 4, 5, and 6.
Wow.
And when I went tell you about his integrity, when I woke up 1:30 in the morning, Ken Hall was standing over me with my ex-wife.
Wow.
And told me not to worry about anything.
Yeah. So C4, 5, and 6
All
fused. Wow. So that accident, how did that impact your employment with Hall?
He paid me for a year and a half while I was out.
Wow.
Everything he owed.
Yeah.
Never changed my pay.
Wow. Wow.
And when I was done, I told him, I said, Ken, I don't have it in me. I
So-
gotta get out
Took you a year and a half to recover.
fully.
Fully.
I mean, I still worked, but
Okay.
I wasn't the guy that
Yeah.
I was. And I told him, I said, Ken, you can't keep on paying me. I'm not the guy. I don't have it in me right now. I can't keep on doing this. My heart isn't in it. And
And you said you lost your father in that same time
Yeah.
frame. So he passed, like he was still up in New York? Or?
no, he was down here in Florida.
Okay.
And just before that, I wanted to go see him. I didn't have time. We were opening up a new store, and then we were opening another store.
Yeah.
I kept on telling him I'll come down and see you, and I didn't. And my head was all fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And my head just wasn't in the game. And I told him, I said, you can't keep on. And I was good, making good money. And I had money in the bank. And I said, Ken, I can't do this to you. You're too good to me. And in the process, by the way, in Virginia, that's succession of insurance. Right? So my attorney wanted me to sue Ken in order to get to my homeowner's insurance because I had $1 million policy. Right? And in order for me to do that, I would have had to sue Ken in order to get to my policy. And Ken's an old timer. And I couldn't do it. And my lawyer was pissed. And he said, well, I said, listen, pal, do whatever you want to do. Quit. I'm not going to sue Ken. It's not going to happen. Never in a lifetime is there going to be a lawsuit that states Peter Gary versus Hall Enterprises or Ken Hall. You go fuck yourself. It's not going to happen. Money doesn't mean as much to me as loyalty.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you think that's going to happen, it ain't going to happen. So the attorney's like, well, this is bullshit. I said, I don't care. Quit. It's done. And so
then you left Hall.
Yeah. But I left Hall with his. I left Hall. I told him.
Yeah.
And he actually lined up my next gig.
Which was what?
Well, he wanted me to go work for JM&A, and I really didn't want to go work for JM&A. I called Brian Anderson, who owned Autobase, and told Brian that, listen, Brian, I'd really like to come work here. Autobase had come into the Hall organization, which is a CRM solution.
Okay, so then you moved on from Hall,
Yeah.
and your next opportunity was what?
Then I went to work with Autobase.
Okay.
And we grew that from 167 stores to 3,000 stores nationally
Wow.
over the course of a few years.
Was it a like a dealer, like a GMC?
No. It was a CRM solution for dealers back before even Salesforce was out.
Oh, okay.
It was written in DOS.
Yeah,
and
right.
we converted it from DOS to right into Microsoft.
Okay.
And worked with a great bunch of guys. We only had probably maybe 9 employees when we started, and actually got sold twice. Once to a VC company. Then we got it back from them and ended up selling it to Dominion.
So you were in the ownership at that point?
No, it was later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So a couple of good transactions there, and what was next?
Then I got out of that and came down here and
Moved back to Florida.
Why'd
you move back to Florida?
I've always had a place in Florida.
Okay.
I've always had a place in Florida, and I actually lived here in Florida when I worked for Autobase, and when I was with Autobase, we actually had a place in Tampa, and I moved from Tidewater area down to Tampa, and then I moved from Tampa down to Boca Raton.
Okay.
And because we had a training facility over in Tampa, right in downtown Tampa.
Yeah, that's a beautiful part of the country as well. Yeah.
I lived on Harbor Island.
Yeah.
And then we came over here.
Wow.
And then I got out of that and I went back to work for Lou Baccarat for a while. Got back into the GM world.
Okay.
And then 9/11 hit.
How did that affect you?
I wanted to go back in.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
And
that's funny because one of my previous episodes, I was talking to a SEAL reservist, and it's the same thing. When that happened, he wanted to go from reserve to active. How can I get in the fight? You know? Yeah.
And I told a guy this the other day, and Marty, I said, they just told me I was a little bit too old, a little bit too slow, and a little bit too overweight. and just I was that, and I was a little bit, but. And being in the training end of it versus being in the thick of it.
Yeah, right.
Not the same.
Wow. So 9/11 hit. You didn't go back in, obviously. So what was your next business opportunity?
The next business opportunity was a buddy of mine who was in the advertising end of it. Said, hey, look, I really want you to do consulting for me. I'm losing some of my business. I would like you to come in and consult. And I did, and it was in the advertising side.
Okay.
And I took to it like white
to rice. Okay.
And I just loved it.
Okay.
And
what were some of the things you did in that realm?
I went around and talked to dealers. I believe in...
Oh, still in the automotive space?
Always in the automotive space.
Okay.
At that point, it was Honda dealers all throughout the country.
Okay.
And he had a lot of the dealers throughout the country that were Honda groups. Tier 2, there's Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 groups, right? And so when you look at those groups, Tier 1 is OEM, the original manufacturer origin. Tier 2 are regional dealers. Tier 3 are the dealer principals themselves, the actual dealerships, right? So when we did all of those, we looked at it and how we were going to do it, so I went in and talked to them. When I look at the dealers and I talk to them, it's somebody that's been in their seat that's actually talked to them and worked with them. And so I talked to them, I listened. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. And really paid attention to them.
Wow.
And saved a lot of their business.
Through increased sales?
Yeah, through increased sales, but really listened to them and found out I kept their business for them. I didn't increase their sales yet.
Okay.
I just kept their business for them.
Wow. And that company, this is a CRM company before, like you said.
No, this was just the advertising agency.
Oh, okay.
I was out of the CRM business now. Now I just started with him. I wasn't a partner with him, nothing. I just literally worked as a consultant to his advertising agency.
Okay, gotcha.
And this was Omni Advertising. And helped him with his agency. He had a partner, Joanne Williams, and this was Ken Hudson and Joanne Williams, and just helped him with Omni Advertising to figure out what's going on and then help them grow it.
Okay, all right. And then at some point, did you take that company over?
No, I started a whole new one.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah. How did that happen?
Well, first we started one together, which is called High Voltage.
Okay.
And that one we owned together, built it, and then I split off from him and started Pinnacle.
Okay, Pinnacle, an advertising agency as well.
Pinnacle Advertising.
Okay, again, automotive focused?
All automotive focused.
Okay.
Then I split off and did more than just automotive.
Okay.
We had financial clients. We had medical clients.
Wow. Okay.
Everything across the board. But I also did digital. I did mobile. I did everything besides that.
Okay.
We were a lot bigger than just traditional. And I changed the way. What made us different was I changed the way that everybody else was doing it. Everybody else tried to get way too fat on everybody. Mm-hmm. I took a much lower margin and was very transparent.
Okay.
And I felt that was a much easier way to go.
Yeah. Okay. And that model, did that model bear success? You said you felt it was much easier. And
yeah, it was huge.
But that, yeah, also then obviously the ROI, right?
Yeah. When you're very transparent and you let the dealers and the client pay the media, and you're just taking a percentage of it, and you consult versus tell them, and you allow them to make choices, intelligent choice, and you help them along the way.
Yeah.
And listen. It's obviously going to be a much better model.
So, was that your first exit?
Second.
That was your second. Okay.
Not counting the one when I was a kid.
Okay. Yeah. You mean the one from the construction, from the trades? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's important that you chalk that first one up as an exit as well. I mean, that's actually pretty brilliant. So, in business, sense. So, when you sold it, why did you sell it, and what did you have in mind, after you sold it?
Everything has always led to where we're going right now. It's not about what you keep; it's about what you give. Mm-hmm. Right. I'm very simple. I've always been very philanthropic. Right. If you can talk to any of the employees. They more get aggravated about the fact that my time always goes towards the community. Mm-hmm. A couple of my ex-wife will think I gave away too much time to the community.
So a couple of them. How many?
Yeah, let's not get into that.
Okay, all right.
It's
more than 4? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. You can't. I believe that we're put on this earth to give back and to serve.
Okay, good. Right?
And the more you serve, the more you get in reward.
Couldn't agree more. Yep.
And
the more you give, the more you get.
Yeah. And it's not about what goes in your pocket. That's not what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the warmth that you get in your heart.
For sure. Yeah.
And I think people sometimes don't understand that. I think they think the more you give, the more you get in your pocket. Mm-hmm. And
I'm glad you made that distinction. Totally glad you made that distinction. Hockey's a big part of my life, and as I coach these kids through the years, and especially like through the high school years when kids start to have girlfriends and jobs and maybe start to get in trouble, hockey was a thing that in many cases helped keep kids where parents wanted their kids to be, and you don't get paid to coach hockey. Mm-hmm. You do it because you want to have an impact, you enjoy it, and when a parent says, "Hey, coach, can I talk to you for a minute? I just wanted to thank you for, this, that, and the other." That's the
thanks.
That's the warming of the heart. Yes. Exactly. They said you had such an impact on my child, and man, that means a lot.
Sure it does.
So, okay, let's get into Warriors Haven. And the cool things you're going on. So tell us about the mission of Warriors Haven.
So Warriors Haven is built specifically to help veterans transition from military to civilian life.
Okay.
Right? I did a survey and a study prior to exiting the agency. Mm-hmm. I needed to find out why so many veterans are failing that transition. And too many people are thinking it's because a crutch that was globally put on all veterans, which is PTSD, right? And I believe that there is a huge piece of PTSD that's out there, right? And I'm not discounting PTSD at all. And I think PTSD is a real problem, right? My problem with it is that they've now created such a crutch with it that it's being misdiagnosed too many times. And we need to get our arms around it so that it's not misdiagnosed, it's not misused and abused. And if we don't, we're going to have a systemic problem around it. And we need to help veterans, and the only way we can help them is to create a new path that's going to allow them to help themselves. And the only way to do that is to figure out different ways to do it in a very distinct, viable way. You can turn on the TV every single day, and I can probably give you, if not 500, at least 250 programs and charities that are all addressing PTSD, homelessness,
suicide,
alcoholism, suicide, any other one. Name me one that's giving them a path to vocation. Giving them a way to go out and make a living. Okay? It's biblical. Tell them how to fish and they'll make a living. Right? That's what we're here to do. I can't be any more succinct and simple than that.
And what are some examples of the vocations you're talking about?
Carpentry, metalworking, HVAC, CNC work, metalworking. We teach them how to do electrical. We teach them how to do solar. We teach them...
Huge emerging market.
Right? We're actually teaching them also business, AI.
Huge, for sure. Yeah.
So it's not just that we're sticking with vocation. Okay? We're going across the board. We're also teaching them how to be fiscally responsible. Along with that, we teach them on the emotional side. We have horses here. So to help them with the equestrian.
Yeah, for sure.
We have canine. Right? So, which you saw, my service dog comes in here.
Chesty.
And Chesty's here always to help. But we actually have a culinary program. Right? It's a full-blown culinary program to teach them how to become chefs.
Yeah, that's cool. I want to help you with that. Not that I'm a chef, but
I heard you making me pizza.
But I'm a pizza guy, and I know pizza people, so we'll get the right people down here for that.
We have all these programs. We have a CNC. We have a 3D printer program. Now, you do have people back to the PTSD. We know it's a real problem. We have veterans that can't be around other people. The impetus of having podcasts, we can show a veteran that has PTSD, that can't be around other people, how to have a complete business of their own and make $150,000 to $250,000 a year, having their own server, having their own 3D printer farm, having their own CNC shop, having their own forge, making knives, making parts, making whatever they want, having a podcast on it, and doing it right in their own home.
Yeah.
They don't have to have they don't even have to rent a shop. They can do it in their own garage. Right? And do it on their own and have their American dream and do it right. Right from opening their own LLC all the way through opening their own Etsy shop. And that's what we're all about.
Wow. Great vision, great mission, and I can't wait to have this discussion again about a year from now and see what the impact, start measuring the impact and things that are going on. Pete, Gary, thank you so much for letting me come in your house and do my show.
Well, brother, it's our house, and it's built for veterans, by veterans, and for veterans. So it's us.
I appreciate it so much.
Thank you.